Another sad day in Hollywood, man. Another sad day. I just got through watching. Now I was gonna do a video about it on Screen Fame and talk about AJ Johnson. And I got the hookup. I just watched. I got the hookup. And I basically just wake up to this. What's up, Lex? Yeah, but I remember when Tiny passed away, Tiny Lester, or Tiny Lister rather, Debo. He like made fun of him, like in a joke. Now to us, that don't make any sense, but in the comedic world, it's okay. Like when comedians go to funerals, they basically roast the person, and especially when a comedian passes away, they get together and they just roast the person at the while they're in the casket, and you'll be confused by this, but it's like paying respect to them. It's a weird thing. So AJ Johnson was in Detroit on a comedy set, and he looked out for my cousin. That was real cool. This was 6 years ago. Um, Gave my cousin, him and DeAndre Bonds, the one you know now from the TV show that's on Fox, the FX, about Rick Ross' life. DeAndre Bond, yeah, they looked out for my cousin. Gave him the right agent, everything, man. So I'll never forget that. Was it COVID related? Probably. They didn't give out any details, so we really don't know. He was great on stand up. And it's weird how you just thinking about somebody and then something happens. I just watched I Got the Hookup. And I was like, man, I gotta go on Screen Feed. And this was Saturday night. And I said, man, I gotta go on Screen Feed, and then I gotta tell the people what's going on. Because I watched that movie and I was like, this movie is god awful. But but he was doing his part, making it as funny as possible. It's silly. I don't know if he got vaccinated or didn't get vaccinated. I don't know that information. Right now, they have not even disclosed what's the cause. But yeah, Ice Cube apologized to him for not being able to bring Ezell back in last Friday. You know, he was trying to do that because Ice Cube basically screwed him over in the sequel to Friday. When they did Next Friday, he screwed over Ezell. What's up, Devontae? No. No, he was no, Ice Cube screwed him over because he was in negotiations for the role. And he basically screwed him over. And then he was not even allowed on the set when they went to film because the price they got the first time around, everybody was going to get more now that the bag is here for the sequel. So he wanted to get paid, and he took a meeting with Q, and they thought they had an agreement. Like the next thing you know, Q didn't even talk to him and just went in a whole different direction and blocked him from the set. They just wrote his role out of the script. They just cut that role out. Yeah, they just altered it and made it like Debo had a cousin or a brother, and they broke out of jail together. But in the script, no, in the original Next Friday script, instead of having Sticky Fingers play his like cousin Tyrone or whatever, Tyrone character was just added to the script. It was supposed to be Ezell. Come on, Ezell, get me out of here. So Ezell was supposed to be the one to help break Debo out. And he grabbed Ezell. Crackhead is it. So that's how the role went. But Ice Cube changed that and brought in his sidekick and had Debo break out together. We gonna fade to black. Right. We wouldn't have had the Tyrone character. We would have just had Zell, the character we already knew, and Debo always using him to do dirty work. That was his first film, was House Party, and he only had one role, and he was just standing there with the Jerry curl, and and Robert Williams was doing a joke on him. You better not ever do a crime. They ain't gonna have no problem fighting it. All you gotta do is follow the drip, follow the drip, follow the drip. That one line made AJ Johnson famous. He didn't even talk. Had no talking lines, but he was there with that Jerry curl. And in part three, he was in it again as an ex-con because it mirrored everything Robin Williams said. You better not ever do a crime because they ain't gonna have no problem finding you. And he was in jail serving the food. So a lot of people didn't pick up on that, but I did. Even though the film was god awful. Um, yeah, Robin Harris. Yeah, but he was doing stand up and he was somebody who had to work at it and he was good with physical comedy. Physical comedy was like one of his things. That's what made Izelle so funny. I mean, everything he did and moved around was he looked. I mean, he made it look just like a crackhead. The way he followed him in the stove, everything. It was physically he was able to pull this stuff off. Yeah. I mean, everybody wanted to work with him. They didn't understand why he wasn't in a lot of more movies. Like why Ice Cube wasn't working with him like he should. So today Ice Cube said that he was sorry for not being able to put Ezell into Last Friday because he was gonna bring the character back to the screen. So he just apologized to him on Twitter. They put I got the hookup on Netflix. I just got through watching it, and I said this is the dumbest movie I've ever seen. Like it was so stupid. I mean, really, it was so stupid. And I just watched it. We don't know how he went yet. They didn't disclose anything. So right now we know nothing. It really isn't a hood classic. It's just a pitiful, ridiculous film. I mean, it probably was when we first saw it, but I watched it now, and it's one of those movies we was talking about. Man, you know, you watch a movie later, and you watch and you go like, "What was I thinking? Like, what am I doing here watching this?" That was that movie. I've been watching Black Summer on Netflix, and that's better than The Walking Dead. Mm. All the Friday sequels. That's what you think? Uh, a lot of people would say three was better than two. Cat Williams made three pop. That boosted his entire career. Yep, he was in Players Club with Bernie Mac. Oh, Players Club was something that was well. That's because it was geniusly done. Like that's Ice Cube, one of his best movies, is Players Club. Oh, Bernie Mac is dollar bill? Of course. Shut up! Pay your country boy nothing! And dollar bill ain't paying but dime. That's what made it weird. Dollar bill had the money and wasn't gonna pay them nothing. Like it was, he wasn't trying to pay him. Dude, he was like, it's like, dude, do you know what's going on? They didn't put this man in the trunk, everything. Dollar bill wasn't paying him a dime. Dollar bill, pay you country boys nothing. Shot time. Told Jamie Foxx, look, all you do is play records. Don't make me raise up on you. Don't let me raise up. All of that is Chi-Town. That is every bit of it is Chicago. Everything he said in those lines was Chicago. It's gonna be trouble. Trouble. Don't make me raise up. Now, Ice Cube and AJ Johnson, they were able to work things out. He understood it, you know, it was a money thing. Why was he gonna pay AJ Johnson all that money? He was like, man, that's too much money. It's fair, but I can get it for the low if I just create another character because he really ain't that guy. Let me just grab, we get Sticky Fingers to play Tyrone. Debo's cousin. He really had no role in the movie, but just to get slapped in the head and say stupid stuff. Jamie Foxx was he's a better actor than he was a comedian. Period. The reason that Jamie got discovered and they figured that they could do something with Jamie Foxx was Jamie knew how to play the game. Everybody be in there screaming and fighting over minutes and all this craziness and doing drugs. Jamie wasn't doing that. The reason how Jamie jumped over a lot of comedians, because a lot of comedians were there hating on each other. Boy, you would think comedians was more unified. But no, they love hating on each other. So the reason that everything went left in that situation and Jamie jumped the line and went over everybody else because Jamie one was sleeping with the lady who was running the place. He was sleeping with her so that he can continuously get more time. That's one way Jamie was playing the game. Plus, they had a piano out there. So, Jamie would come out there and play the piano. Whenever he felt his jokes weren't landing, and people were tired of it, and his stick was getting a little boring, he would just break out the piano and start singing. And then everybody would be like, boo, oh, oh, they start clapping. Mary, Mary, country cherry, how did your garden grow? He would just go right to the. Yeah, so he would go right to the piano. And people would see that he was talented, and they would have all these talent scouts and stuff. And sure enough, some comedians were going out for the Wayans brothers and all of them, and Tommy Davidson and all that. They were getting ready to, they was looking at In Living Color, and they were bringing in new casts and fresh faces, and they bringing in all these young comedians. And Jamie got his audition, man, and he just nailed it right out the park. No, because Jamie Foxx is a better actor than he is a comedian. All the characters that he did on In Living Color, like Wanda, those are characters he did in stand up like 10 years ago. The Wanda character had another name, but he would always do that character and it would kill down in Cali. So they always saw Jamie do that character and everything. And Wanda, the character Wanda, is what blew him up. Chris Rock was funny. Like Chris Rock was like a meteor comet taking off, but he had a problem with his delivery stance, meaning that his execution was a lot of race jokes. He just needs some polishing. But Chris Rock was funny. Gotta make sure this is right. I gotta make sure it's right. I said it bees like that sometimes, 'cause I can't stop the ride. I gotta make sure it's right. I said it bees like that sometimes, 'cause I can't stop the ride. Oh yeah, I'm done. I said, bees like that sometimes, cause I can't destroy the rhyme. I said, bees like that sometimes, cause I can't control the rhyme. Man, yeah, man. So prayers to his family, man. It's a tough time for them. But AJ would right now probably telling jokes somewhere. Nah, him and Debo was friends, but he when he made that joke about Debo being dead, calling him a one eye, everything. That's how comedians were. I mean, you wouldn't understand that logic. And they was like, see, he made fun of Debo and now he gone. Listen, one thing's for certain, we all gotta leave here. No one knows how long they're gonna live. 1 week you kicking it, and then 1 week later, you can be buried. Just that quick. And nobody's thinking about you no more. That's how quick it can go. I mean, seeing somebody you love go, because I remember I had went so many years and nobody really that close to me had passed. Like when I was younger, I was like, man, oh, we blessed, man, because I ain't had to go through what like all my buddies went through. We've had like cousins gone and all that stuff. We like, man, I ain't had to go through all that, man. I'm blessed. I'm lucky. And then they were like, oh, so that's what you think? You just think you lucky. And what happened? Guy hit me with my best friend getting suddenly shot, killed. Then my auntie passed away. Then all in 1 year. Right after that, the girlfriend I'm dating, she dies. 1, 2, 3. And that was like earth shattering. Man, I've seen comedians go to a funeral and just sit at the bar and just roast the person that wasn't there no more. That's just how they pay respects when another comedian go. I guarantee you at his funeral there'll be other comedians. And they'd just be roasting him. He was back doing stand-up. And it was like, man, AJ Johnson is back doing stand-up? It was like Dane Cook was supposed to be the new star. Dane Cook. That was it. Dane Cook had like 3, 4 movies. They put him in a serious movie. They put him in a lot of films early on trying to make him that star. He was making a killing on stand-up, and people did not know he was making millions and millions of dollars until his brother ripped him off. His own family member ripped him off for millions, and he was like, dang, Cook got all that money? Where did he get that money from? Everything he in bombed. See, at this time, Jim Carrey, his thing was going down, and they needed another, like, superstar white comedian or somebody that they can mold to start taking that place to do those type of movies. So they were putting him in more, but Dane Cook is more the raunchy guy than Jim Carrey was. Jim Carrey could do characters and be in kids' movies and all these different things. And it's just certain movies you could only do with Jim Carrey. But Dane Cook isn't that type of comedian. So Gary Owens was going to be that next guy, but he's just don't have that factor where they could make him that focal point. Chris Farley was funny because he was another guy with physical comedy. Guys who do physical comedy, such as Jim Carrey and like A.J. Johnson, John Ritter, and real comedians wouldn't honor you. Jerry Lewis was the king of, like, they called him the king of physical comedy. But if you didn't do physical comedy, they didn't even consider you a real comedian. Yeah, Chevy Chase. That was from the school. If you had to learn how to do physical comedy. Benny Hill, UK comedy. We grew up watching Benny Hill because TV used to go off. Who would think in my lifetime I would witness all of these generational changes into where we are now? When I was a kid, and that just shows you, I'm not 50. So it hadn't even been 50 years ago where TV used to go off. TV used to go off. And like, that's it. No more TV for you today. Yeah, TV would go off. That's it. You couldn't watch nothing else. They start playing that American flag song. I'm quite sure they got it on YouTube. They show the American flag. They show the water. We like to thank you for the broadcast today, for watching TV. I think 11 o'clock at night. That's it. There's no more TV. Yeah, that's it. It's off. Broadcast shut down. TV will shut down. Now, unless you dealing with you had what they call UHV, where you would turn your knob to like channel 66. It would go to like channel 66. The first knob is for like the American stations, 2, 5. They just go around to Fox. They went up to like 12. Or then they went to, when they went to like, they had the analog one, it would go to like channel 32 to get your antenna on your TV to go. But channel 66, well, that was the UK station. And that's when you would hear and watch all these broadcasts because TV would still be on. So when TV would go off here in the States, you would turn it to the UK channel. And then you can get shows like Benny Hill. Benny Hill, the perverted comedian, was good at doing like silent comedy film, like skits. And he used to look like my cousin Johnny, who swear to God he didn't look like Benny Hill. So that's what our family would do. Our family would immediately go straight to the Benny Hill show. They would say, "Hey, it's Benny Hill. We need that." Oh man, AJ, I felt bad for him. He missed out on a lot of breaks, but a lot of the people who was in hip hop gravitated to him. You know, when Master P went to go make his movies, he wanted to go get some of the black comedians that was dealing with him back in the day. AJ Johnson was one of them. He saw him from the Friday movie, and I Got the Hookup was nothing but a ripoff of Friday. It really was. People don't really get it. They just took things from Friday and put it into I Got the Hookup. And instead of having Chris Tucker, we just got AJ Johnson playing his role. Told you, it just came on Netflix. I was just watching it. And that was like AJ Johnson's biggest role at that time. Being a co-star. Well, when you're good, you can make anything believable. So people wanted to be heard at that time. And what better way to be heard than that? Yeah, he was in Master P's movie Hot Boys. After they did that, he put him in Hot Boys. Yeah, everybody was shocked to see him going back to stand-up comedy, but he got turned down for a lot of movies. I remember he was doing a stand-up. gig down in LA, and he was talking about, he was like, man, they told me I'm too short. I'm like, what? I'm too short for the role. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm too short for the role. One that he wasn't funny. They were like, man, you were funny. You were great, but you just a little bit too short for the role. So he said, okay, fine. Then he turns around. They turn around and get a role to Kevin Hart. He goes, what? Oh, man. It's like, the Kevin Hart, I'm Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, man. He was funny at doing what he was doing, but he didn't interview well, which means that he wasn't gonna play ball. When they say, "Hey, this is great. Come hang out with us at such and such," he wasn't gonna do that. He wasn't gonna do that. Most of the people he worked with, I'll tell you another one. Seth Rogen, right? All of the people that work with Seth Rogen knew about AJ Johnson. And they said, man, Seth, if you guys are looking for comedians, because what people don't know, Seth Rogen is not a comedian. Seth Rogen is not a comedian. All right? Jonah Hill, not a comedian. None of these people were really comedians. They have what you call great comedic timing. They're actors. So they have to work with the comedians. And Adam Sandler was going back to doing stand-up, which he used to do because Adam Sandler is a comedian. So when he was working with them, they actually had, what's his name, Goldberg? And all those, Seth Goldberg and all them, they were meeting with AJ Johnson, and he was supposed to be in a film that they were coming up with and they was working on. And the film that they was doing, though, was called, it was 40-Year-Old Virgin. And AJ Johnson was supposed to be one of the characters that was going to be on the show, or be in the movie, rather. And that scene ended up going to Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart didn't even make the movie. He made the director's cut only. He was not in the original film. And a lot of people don't know that. That scene with Kevin Hart that they have in the store is not in the original movie. That scene was just cut out of the movie altogether. But it got the biggest laughs. But they cut it out of the movie. So when they came out, Seth Rogen was like, how do you cut that scene out of the movie? They were upset that the scene wasn't in the movie. When they saw the final cut in the premiere, like, oh man, we were all waiting on the scene. So what they do, they made a director's cut, or what they call, we'll do an unrated cut and we'll just add the scene in there. And when they did, is everybody saw the unrated cut who never really saw the movie at the show. So they only saw that part. So they assumed Kevin Hart is in the movie. And that scene made Kevin Hart's career. That opened doors. That scene opened the door for Kevin Hart. And that one would have went to AJ Johnson had he played his cards right. I don't know what he did because they loved him. They thought about him for that character. And everything about that character was AJ Johnson. Look, man, you somebody nigga wearing this nigga tie. Don't be my nigga. I don't need you to be my Negro. I need you to be my nigga. Now I'm gonna need that discount for like the price of the extended warranty for the price of on the house. You know. I'm coming back. I'm clapping everybody. Is this your man's? You just got effed up with him. I didn't do nothing. It don't matter. I'll come back. Click, clack it, all of y'all. Man, that AJ Johnson would have killed that. That was the funniest part in the movie. That was the funniest part in the movie, and it wasn't in there. And everybody knew that it was. But when you have studio executives who don't understand comedy that relates to people of color, you know, they thought this is alarming to show that to a bunch of the audience of white folks. Aim high, tic tac. Yeah, it was so messed up. He even messed up the line. He called him Willis. Aim high, Willis. It was supposed to be Arnold. Because Arnold always say, what you talking about, Willis? But to show you how the people who write the jokes, what's his name? Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen, all that, they screwed it up so much. Arnold is the short guy. He always say, what you talking about, Willis? Willis is his big brother. So when he was like, aim high, Willis, that was a whole mess up. Willis is tall. Aim high, Willis. Aim high, Willis. That just shows you how much they just don't know about our comedy. I mean, a lot of these comedians, they got to go back to stand up, you know. They don't play the game right, or they just don't fit and things dry up. And the people you connected to, they fall down. And then nobody else really dealt with you before. So now you got to force to be dealing with new audiences. But let me get to work over here, man. I appreciate y'all time. You know, sending our flowers out to AJ and everybody who loved ones are ill. You know, much prayers to you. Burundi needs prayer right now for his family. He being there for his moms. So it's rough out here, man. Just keep God in your life, keep prayer, keep moving on.